Talking about the church folks, I just really would just like them to be real, you know? Because it's a lot of fraudulent.
Shaunie O'Neal's fairy tale romance with Pastor Keion Henderson crashed, and the truth behind their breakup is more shocking than we ever imagined. Did Shaunie O'Neal's dream romance with Pastor Keion Henderson really crumble over just a few disagreements? Or is there a deeper, more shocking truth behind their breakup? Let's see.
You ordered the second one before you. See, this is the discrepancy.
Okay,
You
I ordered two at the
second
same
one.
time.
There you go. All right.
But let me explain why.
When Shaunie O'Neal linked up with Pastor Keion Henderson, the world was quick to label them the ultimate power couple. Shaunie, after all, had weathered the storm of a highly publicized divorce from NBA legend Shaquille O'Neal, building her empire with basketball wives and some serious Hollywood hustle. She didn't need a man to define her, but here comes Keion, a rising star in the world of ministry. His charisma, his spiritual depth. He seemed like the perfect complement to Shaunie's strength and independence.
He always tells me he wants to have more kids, so I'm like, well, knock yourself out, because, have a good time with that one. I think.
Though their public life looked picture perfect, the reality was far more complicated. Rumors started circulating that things weren't as rosy as they seemed. Those perfect Instagram shots with hearts and family vacations.
Like watching reality TV, people get super invested, and it's great because you become.
Fast forward to TMZ breaking the news. Shaunie, after only 2 years of marriage, filed for divorce. The world was stunned. This wasn't just a separation, it was the end of what many thought was an unbreakable union. But why did Shaunie decide to call it quits? Was it a mere difference in values? Or was there more lurking beneath the surface?
We both support each other. Like, I used to tease him and be like, could you please hurry up and get a wife, and then you could stop.
The drama around Keion Henderson's ministry took a sharp turn when financial concerns began to overshadow his public persona. In August 2024, Keion made headlines for asking his church members to donate $2,100 each towards a $4 million fundraising goal for his ministry. The amount raised eyebrows, especially considering the audacious sum for individual contributions. Members of his congregation, who had long supported his message of faith and prosperity, found themselves questioning where their hard-earned money was actually going. Some of them raised valid concerns about whether the funds were truly being channeled towards the church's mission or something else entirely.
It was kind of a test to see if you were going to judge me too. And you didn't.
I did not.
You didn't. And
I actually was mad that I didn't.
I've given to this church for years, and now I'm being asked to donate more than some people make in a month, one church member reportedly said. It doesn't feel right. As if the fundraising controversy wasn't enough, a sermon Keion delivered earlier in the year went viral for all the wrong reasons. In the sermon, Keion made a statement that had many people questioning his motives. Blessings don't come from giving to the poor, they come from giving to the church. Your tithe is where your prosperity begins. The line stirred up fierce debate. While tithing is a fundamental practice in many Christian communities, the implication that only church donations, and not acts of kindness or charity, lead to blessings seemed deeply problematic to many.
I love the doctor. You hear me? That's my girl. I feel like she and we haven't had a chance to
Another person within his congregation spoke out after the sermon, expressing their disillusionment. I've always been taught to help others, especially the less fortunate. To hear him say that blessings only come from donating to the church, it felt more like a business than a ministry.
Randomly FaceTiming me and talking about your day. Like, I'm not, like, get a girlfriend or something. I don't know.
As the rumors about his financial practices continued to swirl, questions arose about the true nature of Keion's intentions. Was his ministry becoming more about profit and status than spiritual growth? Was he using his relationship with Shaunie O'Neal as a shield for his increasingly questionable financial decisions?
This is where it gets a little tricky.
Then it was time to wrap it up.
Right.
And I said, I'm a lady and I need to go home.
Shaunie is a strong woman, and she knows the business world, said an anonymous source close to her. But this is a whole different ballgame. If she's watching Keion's money moves and those fundraising asks, she might have second thoughts.
I think that everybody should authentically be themselves. I think that
But wait, there's more. Rumors about financial mismanagement continued to swirl. Insiders claimed that money meant for charitable endeavors and community outreach was being misused. And that's when everything started to unravel. Was this what led to Shaunie's decision to file for divorce? Was she done being associated with a man whose business dealings were under intense scrutiny?
Seriously, it took us a long time to get there. Don't get me wrong. It was not an easy journey. But
despite the mounting criticism, Keion has remained steadfast in his response, maintaining that his church's financial needs are legitimate and that his ministry is driven by a higher purpose. Yet, the damage to his reputation was undeniable. For many, the line between faith and finances had begun to blur, and Shaunie, who had built her empire on business savvy and independence, was now being dragged into the conversation.
So you're talking about like Leon Lonnie Love or something?
But that's real, and you know it. You have met that
But what really broke Shaunie's heart wasn't just the financial scandal or the public drama. It was the feeling of betrayal. A recent post by Shaunie on Instagram made it clear, when trust is broken, everything falls apart. Her cryptic message left fans wondering if the betrayal had come from the very person she trusted the most, Keion.
You missed it. It was in the beginning. It was talking about authenticity and how you should be yourself.
Sources close to Shaunie revealed that even before filing for divorce, she had been consulting legal teams to safeguard her interests. It became evident that Shaunie wasn't just reacting emotionally to her marriage falling apart. She had been planning for months, anticipating the inevitable storm that was brewing. She saw the red flags, and she wasn't about to let herself get blindsided.
I said to you that what I loved about your preaching was that you're relatable.
As if things couldn't get messier, whispers began circulating about Keion's alleged double life. Reports surfaced claiming that the pastor had been involved in inappropriate relationships with multiple women within his congregation.
we felt comfortable being honest with each other and just sharing what was going on in our lives, in our personal lives.
Now, imagine the kind of pressure Shaunie must have been under. Not only was her marriage falling apart, but her husband, the man who preached about trust and faith, was allegedly living a lie behind her back. The emotional toll of dealing with such a betrayal, coupled with the financial chaos, likely left Shaunie with no choice but to walk away.
I told my story about Terry not letting me dance.
What story is that?
The one he didn't let me dance in the ICU.
The leaked audio was like gasoline thrown onto an already raging fire. The world had been watching Shaunie O'Neal and Pastor Keion Henderson with a mix of admiration and curiosity. But when the recording surfaced, it added an entirely new layer of drama. The audio, which seemed to have been captured during an intimate, private conversation, quickly went viral, with fans and critics alike dissecting every word.
I never heard him say that he didn't do, that he did anything, made any mistakes.
No transparency.
Right. Now,
In the emotional clip, Shaunie can be heard speaking in a raw, vulnerable tone. "I trusted him, but he turned our marriage into a lie," she says, her voice thick with emotion. The words were haunting, and the pain in her voice was palpable, leaving many to speculate about the deeper issues in her relationship with Keion.
It's none of our business. It's none of my business what he does. Same with him, and I think we both respect that. But if we get in relationships that we're...
While the leak was anonymous, the source reportedly claimed to be someone close to Shaunie's inner circle. The authenticity of the audio was debated, but the words struck a chord with many who had been following the saga. Was Shaunie finally opening up about what had been happening behind closed doors? Was this the moment when everything about her relationship with Keion came crashing down?
I was trying to tell him how he didn't receive my gift of dance.
Well, he probably didn't know who you were.
"I feel like we're watching the unraveling of a fairy tale," one fan commented online. You can hear the heartbreak in her voice. This isn't just about money or fame anymore. It's about trust. And she's saying it's gone.
Admit to things that he did that made him also a bit more relatable. But, he's older. So
The timing of the leak only added to the drama. It came just after the growing financial concerns about Keion's ministry had taken center stage. Many followers of the couple were left reeling. Some couldn't help but feel that Shaunie, who had built an empire on her own and was no stranger to public scrutiny, deserved more. She's been through too much to let someone come in and break her trust like that, one of her supporters wrote on social media. If she's saying it was a lie, then there's something deeper going on.
Gonna go to that next level. We definitely will let each other know and support it in the best way we can.
Was this audio the smoking gun that confirmed everything? Or was it just another piece of the puzzle that fans are trying to piece together? Either way, one thing is clear. Shaunie was no longer willing to stay in a relationship built on lies and deceit.
Because if he had known, it just would have been a no-brainer.
I'm saying.
He had been through a lot, so
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Terry Wayne was.
Now, let's talk about the timing of Shaunie's decision to file for divorce. The way she handled the situation seems incredibly strategic. While Keion has remained tight-lipped about the specifics of their breakup, Shaunie has been remarkably composed and focused on moving forward with her life. Some might say that her timing was flawless. By filing for divorce when she did, she positioned herself to protect both her reputation and her financial interests before any more dirt could be exposed.
in a way that we understand and can relate to was amazing to me, because I don't think that there's anybody else.
Shaunie's decision to take control of her narrative, especially after everything that's been uncovered, is a move that only someone with her business savvy could make. This isn't just a personal issue. It's about securing her legacy and continuing to build her empire without the shadow of scandal hanging over her head.
You know, he supports me in a relationship. I support him. We have a great,
So, what's next for Shaunie? As she navigates this tough chapter, she's been laser focused on protecting her children and herself. Sources say she's been leaning into her business ventures, making sure that she stays on top of her game. Her empire is still growing, and it's clear she's determined not to let this scandal define her.
And the staff of the hospital behind me. So next time, I'll have the dance. Maybe.
As for Keion, his public image continues to take a hit. Whether the allegations about financial mismanagement and infidelity are true or not, the damage has already been done. He's got a lot of rebuilding to do, not just with his congregation, but with his own personal life.
In this direction.
Yeah,
and just because you have commercials that promoted what you did for a living.
At the end of the day, Shaunie O'Neal has proven once again that she's a force to be reckoned with. Despite the heartbreak and the drama, she's moving forward on her own terms. The world is watching, and as more details continue to emerge, it's clear that this story is far from over. So, what do you think? Was Shaunie justified in walking away from Keion? Or do you think there's more to this story that we don't know yet? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for all the latest gossip. Because trust, this story is only just getting started.